Hey guys, welcome to Back in the Years, and today we get the Foster Season 5, Episode 19, Many Roads, the story season finale before the three series finale episodes. So anyway, this episode starts off at graduation, where Steph's like, where Robert's like, hey, where's Callie? And Mike's like, did anyone see Brandon? And Steph's like, oh, it's been a crazy couple of days. So then we flash back to 2 days earlier, where we see Jesus, like, trying to, he's just like sad. He's just like sad, and Emma's like, and Mario's like, Jesus, wake up, mom wants you to help me clean up the garage. And he's like, why? Get a person who didn't fail math to help you. And she's like, hey. He's like, why would Emma even want to be a senior? So anyway, they go out where everyone's got their two belts on, even Anna and Mike, who we haven't seen in probably a long time. Where's they been? But they're like, hey, you need 4 credits to graduate. So Jesus, we're building a treehouse. So Jesus goes to talk to Gabe, and he's like, hey, and Jesus is like, and Gabe's like, I'm sorry for the last time we spoke to each other, which was season 5, episode 8. And yeah, so anyway, Mariana invites Logan, she invites Wyatt, and so basically, and Jesus is over here, and Mariana is like, what happens if we both get into a STEAM program? What's gonna happen? Jesus probably not gonna be a senior, and having to live too long away, and she's like, and Jesus is watching, and he leaves before Emma says that she's not gonna break up with Jesus. So anyway, then we cut to Noah and Jude. Yes, Jude was not in episode 18, but he is in this episode, and Noah is like, and Jude's like, hey, and Jude's like, hey. Jude's like, hey, Noah, Declan, and Taylor are going to this convention, and yeah, and Noah actually splashes paint on Jude's shirt, and he's like, whoa, what are you doing? This like costs money, and he's like, you wore that to your shirt, and he's like, wow, Jude, you're totally acting like a Declan. And he's like, no, I'm not. He's like, yeah, but you're not acting like yourself. Like, where did Jude go? And he's like, if you feel that, then let's end things. And he's like, let's break up. And he's like, that's the one good idea you've had all day. Basically, Joa, over. So anyway, yeah. So at a convention, Jude is talking to his fan, but Declan's trying to hurry this fan up, and he's like, hey, that was kind of rude, and he's like, hey, these fans don't care about us, they only care about these, he basically calls them nerds and says they don't care about stuff, and this basically makes Jude die thinking that he's kind of a jerk, so he basically puts on the blue paint that we haven't seen him wear since season 2, season 2, I think it is, and Mina's like, hey, I haven't seen you wear that in a while, and he's like, what happens when you think you become a jerk? And he basically tells me that he's been, he's been doing live streams at Declan's house, and she's like, I see, and he's like, I'm sorry, and she's like, there's some you can make up to that. So anyway, yeah. So now Judah finally realized that he's gotta become a Declan, and he's kind of trying to improve. So anyway, yeah. So Brandon is nowhere in this team because Steph mentioned that Brandon's driving to Merlin because Grace took a turn, which is kind of like what happened to Grace. So Brandon goes, and Grace kind of looks pale and all that. And she's like, what's day is? And Brandon says Friday, and she's like, when is your graduation? And he's like, Sunday. And she's like, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be at your graduation? And he's like, I don't I don't care about graduation. I just care about being with you. And yeah, so Brandon sings a song as sadly Grace passes away, which is still sad. It hurts me here that one of my favorite characters of this show and Brandon's girlfriend kind of dies. Like, she dies of leukemia, and it's kind of sad. So yeah, so Brandon basically calls Steph, and he's like, I can't believe she's gone. I can't believe Grace died. And she's like, hey, I don't, hey, I can drive you. And he's like, no, I need some air. So instead of driving to San Diego, he drives up to this field where Coachella is playing. He basically imagines him and Grace singing at Coachella. It's kind of just, this is breaking me. So anyway, this is breaking my heart right now. Grace dies and Brandon imagines them singing at Coachella together. And then who shows up? But it's Callie. And Callie's like, and Brandon's like, how did you know? How did you know where I was? And she's like, I saw Coachella tickets. And some people said that this is kind of a reference to Brandon going with Callie to rescue Jude. But now it's Callie comforting Brandon about Grace's death. Looking for Brandon. It's kind of like a parallel, and it's kind of nice. So anyway, yeah. So then we see Bradley's friendship grow. As Brandon's like, hey, don't go. Hey, leave. But she's like, I'm not going anywhere. What about graduation? And he's like, I don't care about graduation. I can't believe Grace is gone. I can't believe Grace is dead and died. And she's like, and she's like, Grace knew how long she was in. Grace knew how much she loved you. How lucky she was. Grace knew how lucky Brandon was. Grace knew how lucky she was to have Brandon in her life, even for a little while. And he's like, how do you know? Because she was like, I've been loved by you, Brandon, and it's a pretty powerful thing. So then we cut to the ceremony where Mariana is saying goodbye to Wyatt, and she's like, did you say hi to Wyatt? And she's like, I couldn't break up with him during his graduation. So yeah, so anyway, yeah. So Lena basically quotes this thing in the song saying, it's not where you come from, it's where you belong, and you always have a home at Anchor Beach. So yeah, so we can see Matt and Mariana talk. We see Daphne with her daughter. We see Humana say she finally got her DACA, which is great for Humana, great for Daphne. Daphne's been wanting that since season 1, and Humana's been wanting her DACA since we learned about it. And I'm glad Humana got her DACA back. So that means that the Lego family is finally complete. So yeah, so Callie goes to the UCSD 5-year law program. Brandon goes to the Institute of Technology, Musicians Institute. Mariana goes to actually yeah. So anyway, then Mariana goes to MIT, and then we flash forward to Lena in a different outfit saying Jesus has finally graduated. Emma is going to MIT with Mariana. We see Jude has gone through a little bit of an emo phase. We see Jude. Then we finally, so then we see Talia graduate. We see Taylor graduate. We see, so then we see them all grow up to their 20s due to his being 19. We basically see them all grow up, and then we see Mariana has got a new man or an old boyfriend named Matt. You know, Matt. We all know him. He and Mariana are endgame. But anyway, yeah. So Jude, we're seeing Jude's graduation party. Callie's got only one year of law school left or something, and so yeah. So anyway, yeah. So then Brandon's like, hey, I'll get the door. Eliza's here. And it's like, who's Eliza? She's Brandon's new girlfriend and she plays for the LA Films. But they've also got some other news that Brandon and Eliza are getting engaged, which Eliza has kind of got some, black background. That Brandon should have ended up with Grace. Yeah, when Eliza was introduced, I read some things to Eliza. I read some things on YouTube that people said that Brandon should have ended up with Grace. It's just like there's still Brandon fans out there, but anyway, yeah, and anyway, yeah, and as everyone's looking at the ring that Mario picked out, Callie's just looking like, ooh, yeah, she should have had like it. Anyway, that was the end. And Stephanie got a call about a kid who needs a home, and she's like, Steph, what should I see the bill? Ending the episode. Okay. This episode was amazing. Even though it killed off Grace, which is still sad. I don't know if they were killing off Grace to make room for Eliza, because Grace kind of gave up. She gave up in that kind of gave up doing gene therapy and all that, and her T cells didn't work. So basically, that caused the cancer to win, and Grace died. So anyway, yeah, but I don't know how I feel about Eliza. I still don't. She's okay. She's an okay character. She only appears in these 3 episodes, so this episode and the 3 next. So we don't know much. I'll reveal the thing that I'm about to say. We don't know much about Eliza. We know what I'm about to mention next episode, but so far we know nothing about Eliza. She's just some girlfriend that Brandon met. I'm gonna tell you about that in my next episode review, which I'll be doing next, so watch out for that. But anyway, yeah, comment, subscribe. Hope you have a wonderful night. And I'll see you guys on the next episode of The Fockers for the 3-part series finale.